Hi there, it's Natalie Topa, and I am sitting in a riverbed here in Arizona, about 10 miles away from the Mexico border. I came here to do a workshop with Brad Lancaster and others, which I'll get into in a minute. This is not going to be a very short video. I'd like to take the video through a whole tour of the system that we've been working on during this workshop. So this is a workshop on low-tech, process-based riverscape restoration here in Arizona, and I'll talk shortly about all the partners and things like that. But I want to start with giving an overview of the entire system that we've been working on, looking at how to rebuild habitat for an endangered bird, which I think is called the white bob quail, or there's something white and it's a quail. The habitat for that has been degraded, decimated, outcompeted by mesquite trees, and the undershrubbery that is the habitat for this particular bird has been depleted. So the whole aim of this entire workshop is to work within this wildlife refuge to rebuild that habitat. Using very low-tech methods of ecological restoration to catalyze water behavior that can nourish the soils, hydrate the soils, that will help that biological uplift of that understory shrubbery that is the habitat for this quail. So I am sitting here in the middle of the sandy riverbed and just making a little model, okay, not to scale. So basically, this is our system that we're working in here. It's called Puertocito. And there's a stream bed. You'll have to use your imagination. And a road that crosses the stream. So this area here before the road has a greater inclination, a steeper slope. And then it flattens out into this flatter area that is heading towards the alluvium, or the fanning out. You know, when you have a river or stream or water flow, it hits another grade that flattens out and that kind of creates like a fanning, and that's called the alluvium. So I'm here, I'm going to show you a couple of structures that we started with. These are my little baffles, which I'll show you in a minute. In this area, this steeper part of the stream is where a lot of the material and sediment is moving down. As Brad Lancaster calls it, he says it's like a conveyor belt. Maybe he got that from Bill Zedike. But sediment material is moving from here, you know, from higher up in the system, through this riverbed, and then once it crosses the road here, it starts to flatten out, and there's a lot of deposit, settling of that same material. So in this workshop, we did a number of interventions in this entire system, which I'm going to take you through. Number one, we started to create baffles in this area where there's already a lot of scouring and erosion of material. And why we want to do that is because we want to mine and excavate more material to carry it down where it can settle more and lift this stream bed in hopes that water will actually, in a big event, jump the banks and braid out, you know, create new sinews out in this area where this is a very high potential for habitat recovery for this bird. So what we did is we created two baffles, which are structures that I'll show you in a moment, which mimic the activity of a fallen tree or even of a beaver. But, you know, sometimes there's an event. Nature's dynamic. It's not all harmonious and balanced like we like to think it is. You know, a tree can fall, an elephant, you know, like in Kenya where I live, can push over a tree, and that can set this river and water behavior in a whole new course, and it can change entire watersheds. And over time, this is how our, you know, planet's landscapes have shaped themselves. So we created two baffles, big baffles, to send this water on a more aggressive course to scour away and mine this material. Then oops, I think I just covered my one rock dam. Oops. Where we have the river, the road crossing the river, the stream bed, we have created a one rock dam. And that serves a number of purposes. It protects this area off the road where water starts to pick up speed again from eroding and potentially eating away at this road with a head cut. So, and it will help to build up sediment here and, help to flatten out this space. So I'll also show you the one rock dam, or ORD. It's called so because they're only one rock high. They can be wide with numerous lines of rocks, but the height is only one rock high. Up the road, there's also a place where water has been taken off of the road for drainage to keep the road dry, and it's in a concentrated flow, right? Water comes from the road, and we don't want it to continue down here. We want to get the water off of the road, and it's in a concentrated flow. So here what we made was something called a media luna, half moon. And what happens is this allows water to spread out here and create a sheet flow, rather than continuing in an incisive path that could cut and erode a new channel. We want this media luna, this half moon of rocks, to catch the water and help it spread out so it will hydrate a greater band. Off of this road, we also created, we didn't, but John Litzel, who's the excavator operator, also made a rolling dip here so that water, it's like a kind of a diagonal speed bump, so that water further down in the system will exit here before it reaches the channel. So we're trying to hold more water higher up in the landscape so that it can passively do a sub-irrigation, hydrate and quench this land before it reaches this channel. So I'm here now at these baffles, and we're going to walk down, and then on the downstream side in this flatter zone where this is a deposition, a lot of material, sand, sediment is being deposited here. So we want to induce meandering with a wavy snaking pattern of a river so that it's slowed down and has more time to hydrate the land in this zone. So what we've done is, after the one rock dam, created a series of baffles that will force the water to scour from the banks here and deposit into a point bar. And water which is fast is leaving quickly, straight. The straighter a stream, the straighter a river, the faster the water, the more extreme and violent water behavior. And when it's meandering back and forth like this, it's less violent, less extreme, it's more calmed down. But on top, when it's slowed down, it has a chance to, soak this zone more and hydrate the soil life for more vegetation. So we created a series of baffles that are, I'll go through what that is, to induce the meandering, and actually really not just to reduce the meandering, but to create situations where deposits of material are going to fill up and raise the stream bed so it will not be so channelized. And that will allow water to potentially hop the banks and enter some of the historic channels that we've seen. They're depressions of the land that were part of a historic, other sinews within this riparian corridor, within this floodplain. So I'm here up in the system. I'm going to show you what we've done here. We're going to walk down, go up the road to the Media Luna, see the rolling dip, see the one rock dam, and then we will end up back down at the baffles. In fact, I'll stop this video here and make a new one with those points along the tour. So stay tuned for the next video where I take us through all of that. Thanks.